Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Preston North End 0, Everton 4. Exactly.
It's like it's 1888 all over again.
Oh, what a game. Great game. But this, I mean, this is a scoreline you would have hoped for yesterday. You know, I'll be honest, I would. Mind you, I did sort of say 4-1, so I felt as we'd win 4-1. But only when I seen the team. I think 24 hours ago, people were thinking, if we make 8 or 9 changes, Preston could beat us, and then the sky will fall in. But you sort of felt we'd go strong, and that's what the manager did.
Yeah, and I to be honest, I did think he would go strong. I didn't think he'd fall into that trap of changing the players, because I just don't think it was needed. I just don't think it was needed. And I think because we've integrated so many of the players this summer, quicker than last summer, I just didn't think it was needed. And actually the players who sort of aren't in yet, like Brennan Johnson, aren't really ready to start yet.
No.
So it was perfect for him to come off the bench. So for me, I always felt like he would go strong. The way where he would make changes, he would go. He's got, whether you agree or not, but Michael Keane is good enough. Jake O'Brien would have been good enough to come into the side. And I think...
let me ask you this then. If there wouldn't have been any seemingly disharmony between Jake O'Brien and the manager, do you think Jake O'Brien would have played last night?
Yeah, I think he would have.
But everything else, I think was about how you thought it.
Yeah, and I think when you think about it already as well, Harrison Armstrong probably wouldn't have started the season if Norgard's ready, so therefore probably would have come in for this game. So he didn't have lots of like first choice options anyway. I think Barry was always going to start, because the manager has made his mind up now, 100% made his mind up, and I think he believes that Barry's in a position where he's going to play the majority of the time. So
no, I mean, I'll be honest, I was enthused when I seen the team, because I was like, there was that worry that even though you can look at a team where he makes loads of changes and go, that team's good enough to be Preston, it should be good enough to be a Preston team who was also making changes. The continuity, we've seen it so many times with Everton in the Carabao Cup, they make loads of changes. The game's terrible because the players aren't used to, there's no patterns or nothing, and it's a bit sluggish, and the game can either just be a bloody war of attrition, or Everton have been beaten in them. So, you know, getting the team, particularly seeing Jordan Pickford in goal, that's nothing against Travers, but I always think when you put your goalies getting changed, particularly if you change in other aspects, I think it sends the wrong message. And, you know, maybe Mark Travers will play further down the line, but just right now, I think it was the right thing. And the other thing as well with Jordan is he only came back the week of the Lille game, played half a game against Lille, so he does need to be in, and you know, and later on in the game he did make a good save. But yeah, when I seen the team, and obviously, you know, you look at it and go, that's a strong side. And I thought what Everton did really well, and again, this hasn't been Everton too many times with us, is they got hold of the game and strangled Preston immediately. Like whenever they got the ball back, we just went and got it back off them and started again. And that was sort of the work rate of Dewsbury, all the work rate of Harrison Armstrong, James Garner in that midfield as well. Yeah, I think we had 68% possession last night. We got hold of it straight away, and the kind of plays we had in midfield were always going to keep the ball, and then Dewsbury was, with those two protecting, allowed Dewsbury to play in that space and just basically do what he wanted. And once I think they'd set out with that mindset, I think as a Preston player, you would have been like, where are we getting the opportunities here tonight? Every time they got hold of it, it just seemed to come back to us all of the time. And I just didn't see anywhere where they could stretch us. And then that's a point of like, what do you do then? And I think we did the right thing. The only thing we could do is just continue to go at them. Whereas the thing about it, we've seen it the other way around, though, haven't we? We've seen it where we haven't done that, where we've allowed teams, we've been sloppy, and that comes down to those changes you mentioned, and we just didn't allow that. We just stayed on them, and I think that mentality, I think that is one thing David Moyes gives a side. You know, there's a lot of you know, talk of David Moyes at the moment, and you know, the positives and negatives, and his general outlook on life at the moment. It doesn't seem to be great, but you know that David Moyes
is gonna push players to get more out of them all the time. You know, it's not a case of no one like. It's not like anyone. It's not like people don't believe that he's not an inspiring manager. It's just it is that thing. Like as we mentioned before, like when this time last year we made changes for the Mansfield game, and we went to Wolves and we did it again. It's that thing of like, what are you doing it for? Like, why are you making like? How much do you believe we can win this trophy? How much do you want to win this trophy? How many extra games is this going to? I remember someone said last year of like, look at all the games you get in the Premier League, but you never weaken a team for the Premier League, and yet you only get one at a time in a cup competition, and yet you're willing to weaken it for that game. It's like it doesn't make any sense. And yet if you went into Europe, where you know you've got a certain amount of games again, you know you probably it's just. It can be frustrating. So it was good that the first game we just went and we kept that confidence going and that belief going.
Yeah, I think sometimes it is overlooked. He has put a much better mentality into the side.
Yeah.
For all of the things that people can have a go at, you know, and some of it's justified, some of the negativity, some of it I believe isn't. But I think what he has done is he's instilled a better mentality, hence why Everton's away record has been excellent since he came in. We've won so many away games since he come back in. He's instilled that real strong steeliness about the team. I think the energy in Everton's team is the best it's been for a number of years. I think you see that. He lacks sometimes with the attacking options, but you know, and his people don't like the safety first aspect at times, but he has put that disciplined work rate element in it, and I think we saw that last night. And I think in like Tarkowski and Keane, they're perfect for those kind of games because it is just heading things away if there's ever a threat, and they dealt with it. Them two dealt with it so easily all night, and you know there was some really good play. I mean, it was evident early on that Toffee was going to try and knock a few into the space behind, and you know we had Dibbling running in on. You could see he's like fading balls. Dibbling's almost getting in. Yeah. But then we do see that for the goal, albeit that came from a Kiernan Dewsbury all pass to Mykolenko, which is something we've wanted them to do. Make those runs, and it shows you if you do have a fullback who's prepared to break the lines like that, it's difficult to play against. We got done by, albeit it was Nketiah at the weekend, the same kind of pass. But we done it to Preston last night for the first goal. It was a lovely ball from Dewsbury all. A great first touch from Mykolenko, and he looks up and rolls it.
And it's hard to stop that from a fullback position because the defending fullback his job is to look after the wide man. And the opposition wide man doesn't ever want to attack because that's not in the nature. So that's why fullback has become such an important position. To see a fullback break the lines and go and you know, start from an onside position, go through. That's why it's become such an important position. And the first touch by Mykolenko is absolutely fantastic. Steadies himself, allowing them his second one to put it on a plate. And it's not an easy goal by any means. It needed a great run, a great first touch. The ball needed to be weighted so it got past the first defender, but didn't end up on this going to the second defender. And you need a centre forward there who's got you know in that the mood to put it in, have that confidence to put it in, and it was a really, really good goal.
And I think the thing was, we'd had an opportunity for Tierno earlier on where I think it might have been Dewsbury or Garner or someone slid him through. And he sort of got the right side of the defender. It was strong. And then you just think, just clip it over him and you've scored. And he sort of lost his balance a little bit and hit it low, and the keeper smothered it, and it was a good opportunity. Dibbling had had the shot as well, straight to the keeper. So you were looking for that breakthrough. We'd had everything but the goal. We got into good positions, and Jai's shot got blocked, and those kind of things. We threw crosses in, it just evaded people. So we were just missing the goal, and that was the moment we got the breakthrough. And then after that, particularly in the first half, you know, it looked like we were going to add the second. You know, and quite a few players had it going. Tyler Dibbling, good little turn on the other side, hit it with his right foot, and the keeper's made a good stop, you know. Kept it out, because that would have gone in, would have been lovely to see him get a goal. I mean, what did you make of his performance? Because he's had to wait to get opportunities in the team. He didn't even get on the pitch at the weekend. So What did you make it sound?
I thought he was all right. I think people are forgetting that he barely started in an Everton team. You know, I think the first look we got from last year starting the game was at Wolves, wasn't it? I think
in the cup, yeah.
And he was anonymous.
Yeah.
And then obviously against Palace he got took off at half time, and then the games over Christmas he'd done a little bit better, but then we didn't see him that much. So I think he's getting there slowly. And I thought there was some nice moments from him. He kept the ball well, didn't lose it. As you mentioned, he nearly scored. It was actually a really good save. In fact, a lot of people thought he did the post.
Yeah, well, the thud sounded like it hit the post, but
it was a really good save. I think the keeper got hit him on the wrist.
Yeah.
Lovely fade one way and then come the other way. And I think the only thing that disappointed me is he didn't have any dribbles. I didn't think he, and then that calls into question whether he's got that little burst of speed, whether he can get away from people, whether he's just got that extra little bit of speed required. But time will tell. But I think people are too quick to pull him down. And I think if we've learned anything from the likes of Barry and you know, we've allowing people like Asnu time, then I think it's important to let him have time as well.
Do you think it's just because he is seen as a creative player? People have seen sort of the way he was at Southampton, and we haven't really seen that in an Everton shirt.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're always looking for him. Because I know when I watch him, he's undoubtedly a good footballer.
Yeah.
He can think, you know, jink past people easily. But I always feel like when he goes past the first man, he slows it down, which allows them to come back on the cover. Whereas if you look at someone like, I know Njai's older and more experienced, but you look at like Illiman and Njai, when he goes past the man, he's getting away from them and he's trying to commit the second man, where Dibling's sort of, I don't know.
I think Dibling's another classic case of someone who needs a fullback.
Possibly, yeah, to open up the space. But he did play like a lovely little 1-2 with Armstrong last night, and he sort of got away in the first half. And I'm thinking, right, just attack the box now. And then he checked back and like walking pace again, and then passed.
No, I don't want to. I'm not like overdoing his performance.
No.
But I just think there is. I said this I think he's been on the wrong path for a long time, and I think he's on the right path now.
Yeah.
But it's going to take him time, you know. But I think his numbers last night, like 90% pass accuracy. He had 4 shots, 2 on target, 1 nearly went in. He just has to grow in confidence, and they just have to know how to get the best out of him. And it's not quite there yet. And he's going to have to improve again if he wants to get in the team. Yeah. So he's not. No one's like saying he should be starting. He's not winning near starting yet. So he just needs to build his confidence a little bit and become a player who can come off the bench and start making things happen and get the crowd confidence in him as well. I think that's a major thing as well. Make people feel like he's going to change a game when he comes on.
Yeah. Went in 1-0 up at half time and in control. And obviously there's always that little thing where you're like, that was fine, but we need a second goal, and then you can relax a bit, because if they score and they get the tails up, it can change, can't it? And they had a good attempt, the lad with the overhead kick in the second half, and catch it well, and Jordan Pickford made. They're sort of the only save he had to make all night, but you know, he stayed alive for it, made a good save. But you know, Everton did get back on the front foot. Harrison Armstrong was at the sort of everything we did well came from him, his endeavour. Obviously, he wanted to put on a good performance when he went back there. But so often that happens with players, and it goes the other way. It doesn't really happen for them on the night. But what did you make of it?
They get too excited.
Yeah. What did you make of it?
I thought he was excellent. I thought his composure was his biggest attribute. Of like, imagine being his age, going back to the team that you were on loan with the season before, and bossing, being part of a midfield that bosses their midfield. And for some players, I mentioned this last night, I was like, we saw Ross Barkley around the same age, and his emotions got the better of him in like a derby game or whatever. Remember that game when we played Man United and Rooney played for him and he thought he could take Rooney on, and Rooney just schooled him, and it was embarrassing. And I think what's really good is he's got so much composure. He's got composure of a player that's played 100, 200 games in the Premier League. And just to see that, keeping it simple, winning the ball, just giving the ball, keeping it ticking over. what all modern centre midfielders have got. So I'm hugely impressed every time I watch him, even if he doesn't always have a brilliant game. I think just the manner and the way he plays the game is he barely gives the ball away.
No. Did he have a night? Was it 95% pass accuracy?
He doesn't make fouls and stupid plays. No. He's got a football brain. So I was very impressed by him last night.
We got the second goal, which was when we needed it. Kiernan Dewsbury all, played in. I think it was in Jai put him in, didn't he? And he had the shot. Keeper's parried it. And Tieno Barry's in the right place to knock it in for the second goal. And obviously, seeing a delight on his face, but exactly where you want it to be. And then Everton squeezed them again. Could have had more, and then made the changes. And obviously, Brennan Johnson, who we saw come on against Crystal Palace, came onto the pitch as well, and was involved in the next two goals. The lovely little ball through. The third goal was brilliant, started by Jordan Pickford. Bowls it out to Kiernan Dewsbury. He sets off, threads the ball through. We saw Brennan Johnson's pace, got him round the back, and then rolled it across brilliantly for Tieno Barry to tap in for his hat-trick. And just a few minutes before that, and Jai had been played in. I think Barry played him in, and he had Brennan Johnson square, and he should have just done the same. Rolled it square for Johnson to tap in, but Johnson showed him exactly what he should do. And it was brilliant to see Tieno Barry get his hat-trick, and again, another good centre-forwards goal. He'd
actually missed, as you mentioned on the first half, he'd actually missed a decent chance in the second half as well. It was a ball in from Njai, and he headed it.
The header, well, the keeper didn't move it, just shaved the post.
I think I think maybe, well, David Moyes has said, hasn't he, that he wants more crosses into the box. So I think that was one where it was just like, get the ball in. The lad didn't get anywhere near him, and if he just got it, headed it on target, he would have scored. But it's exactly what you want, isn't it? First week of the season, scoring your first Premier League game, and then getting a hat-trick in the next game. That's exactly what we want out of him, and he's very, very confident. He knows where the back of the net is when he's given an opportunity. I said last night, I really like the second goal because he's alive to the reaction. The first and the third are what strikers should be doing all day long. It's an empty goal. It's a FIFA sweaty one, isn't it? But
you got to get yourself there.
No, but the second one is like the rebound off, and how many times you see that go past the forward because he doesn't react. So I thought that was really good. So. It's been a brilliant week for him so far. Hopefully he continues it on Saturday.
I thought his link play was excellent last night. And the other thing I was saying to Zach as well, this is the confidence coming now. If you'd ever seen a bit of him at Villarreal, he'd pop off to the left and pick it up and run at players. It's what he was doing last night. He was going off to that left-hand side, receiving the ball, picking his head up, knocking it in. He'd done a couple of little back heels. He's getting it back. He's trying to be the one threading things through. We saw certainly the Lille game, when he pulled that one down and gave the no-look pass to Armstrong, who missed the sitter. But even at the Palace game at the weekend, he sets up that one for Njai. We didn't see any of this really, or just only little smatterings of it last season. He looks like he's come back. He's obviously had the shoulder sort of corrected, whatever that was happening. He's come back and said himself with a different attitude. He wants to show people that he's a good player, and the manager's referenced it. I think we've seen the displays in pre-season that he looked like he's a little bit different. He's not perfect.
No.
People will still pick holes in him, but all your centre-forward can do is put the ball in the back of the net. I'd rather a centre-forward got 15, 18 goals and was just in and around it than one who played brilliant every week and got 2. Because you need someone who's going to put the ball in the back of the net for you. So for me, it was brilliant to see that. And then obviously, Everton got a fourth. And what's really good about the fourth goal is Barry loses it and then wins it back. Goes and gets it back, picks his head up and then threads the ball through. And again, we've got the pace of Brennan Johnson. And it's a nice Brennan Johnson finish.
I think he was probably looking for Njai.
But it was in the right
place for another player to come in. And Johnson's read it brilliantly and finished it brilliantly. And he's got himself a goal and an assist.
It's great for him.
Barry's got 3 goals and an assist. From 8 shots as well. He had 8 shots in a game, the centre forward. So, no, it capped the night because it just made everyone feel, Brennan Johnson comes in and he'll feel settled now that he's got an assist and a goal, probably more than he got at Crystal Palace.
It is, yeah.
So he'll feel he's part of it now and he's got a new lease of life, and fans are buzzing because they're like, well, our centre forward scored and we've got this other option. And that's what like those nights are for, aren't they? Yeah. Like the night before, I think Brentford went to Birmingham and won 6-1. It was like, I was doing the live yesterday and I was like, why can't we do that? Why can't we go and do something like that? So for us to go and do it and actually go 2-0 up and want more, and go 3-0 up and want more, and go 4-0 up and want more, and that's where we sort of stopped, didn't we? But that's when it allows us to make subs. And then the manager didn't even want to bring him off. The manager wanted to leave him on. It was only that Barry said he was feeling some cramp or something. He's that's why the sub was so weird.
Yeah, and I was like looking because he didn't look.
He was adamant not to bring Beto on and didn't bring Beto on.
No.
So which was a bit weird, but obviously again the manager must have made his mind up on Beto and is maybe trying to force him out. I don't know, but or he's just said hello to him when he shouldn't have said hello to him or something. But he was adamant to leave Beto on and Barry on, and then afterwards he said I wanted more from him. And actually, we scored 4, but our XG was over 5.5 last night.
Was it?
So that suggests
James has got the XG at 3.94 there.
Well, it's not what I'm saying.
Well, it probably was because we did have a couple of. I mean, Illuminati was in the middle of the goal and should have passed it. That should have been it. I know it's not a shot. So
according to my stats, it's 5.37.
There you go. And we've had obviously a barrier there, so we have had. If you add it up, there was more opportunities. I mean, Harrison Armstrong, brilliant, and then it opened up the whole goal. He's just got it to target. The keeper's there, and he places it wide. So we did have those opportunities. Tyreek George, Adam Aston, who got on, and they were having a competition to do who could do the most step overs in the box. And Tyreek George actually injured one of their players by just selling them a dummy, and he pulled his hamstring. So, but there was the opportunity, obviously, to bring Ashley on, which was good. He got on, albeit the manager put him on the left wing, but he got on the pitch. We did finish with Brennan Johnson through the middle, and that might be something. There was a couple of times we tried to get him in round the back, and the ball was just a little bit too heavy, or we would have seen him in. But when you look at it overall, like that Merlin role, played at right back and was good, and then went into midfield and was good. In fact, it was him who brought the ball down for the 4th goal, wasn't it? That went to Barry. So, I mean, David Moyes surely overall will have been delighted with that night's work, because it was a game Everton should win.
Yeah.
He's put the team out to win the game, to keep the momentum going. The team has done the job. Clean sheet.
Yeah.
Hat-trick for the striker. Debut. Goal, as in the first one he got, he was off the mark for Everton, and he got an assist in Brennan Johnson. Didn't seem to be any knocks for anyone. So that's the perfect night, isn't it, for the manager?
Yeah, I think so. I think he won't have much to. He wouldn't have. He wouldn't want to bring Barry off, injured. Not saying he is injured. He just. It looks like he just felt something, and maybe being a bit of cramp or something.
Just being a bit tight because it's early on.
And he wanted Michaelenko to come off.
Yeah, because it's being
and that's why Arsenal was going on, but he's ended up leaving Michaelenko on and putting Arsenal on, which was a bit weird. So he was like he couldn't be asked, and he's just coming on. You just go on anyway.
Don't play.
Yeah. And he's managed to make the subs, give Garner an hour or so. Dewsbury always played 80 minutes, but those players will look after themselves. No, I think the manager just wanted more goals because he thought we could have got more goals, and maybe we could have. But what are you going to do? It's 4-0 with Crew.
I think they would try. I think the only criticism was Asnu and George. Near the end, both could have had a couple of shots or put crosses in a bit earlier, but they were showboating a bit. But he was keeping the ball. So it's what you do. You're never going to moan at that. It's great if they keep having shots at the goal and score goals, of course it is, but they were using the ball well.
Give Brennan Johnson half an hour and he's got a goal and an assist. I think maybe the manager will look at it and go, actually, it's a game like that where if I did have more quality, then I can, does he really want to bring Carlos Alcaraz on? Or does he really want to leave Dewsbury all on for 80 minutes because he knows he's got only got Charlie Alcaraz going on. Maybe he'd want someone with more quality so that he could take him off after 75 minutes. Or so, like, they're the, like, I suppose as a manager, they're the things, aren't they, that you're thinking of. It's like, if I want to win this game, but I also don't want to give anything away. But we were 4-0 up. We could have took him off as soon as we scored the fourth, couldn't he, if he'd wanted to. But he's decided against it. So for me, it was like a perfect night. You know, I don't know how you can get better.
I thought Everton played really well. People might go, well, they should be beating them. Well, yeah, they should, but if you've been an Evertonian for longer than 2 weeks, you'll know that there's no givens with Everton. You know, we went to Doncaster a few years ago, who were bottom of the whole divisions, and we struggled to beat them.
Very difficult.
You know, when we had good players on, well, we thought they were good players in the team. You know, Beto in the end come on at half time and turned it round, him and Dan Zuma, and then we had Doncaster at home. The year later, and they were bottom again, and they come and we couldn't get the ball off them in the first half. And get near them.
Yeah, or when we played Huddersfield Town away, and Moise Keane got sent off, and I think we ended up winning it
1-2-1,
but it was like, it's a battle, and you're having
to win it.
And you're having to leave players on for much longer than you wanted to. Last night was a game where you win a 4-0 and you can make the subs you want to make ahead of a trip on Saturday.
And also, they dominated the game. It wasn't even like, oh, we just had that Premier League quality when you know, on the counter-attack, we just scored 4, but they were right in it. We'll see the stats right
even
now.
Craig Patterson got on.
Craig Patterson was excellent, let's be honest. Do you think if we played Craig Patterson at right back and Jimmy Gardner at right wing, but then he just thought he wanted Craig Gardner, who used to be a filler, full-back, I don't know. Let's have a look at the overall stats from the game. Preston 0, Everton 4, 5 shots from Preston, 29 attempts at goal from Everton, incredible. 10 on target for the Toffees, just the 1 for Preston. Their XG was 0.34. Everton's, according to James, was 3.94. Other stat things. Where's yours from? Fotmob.
How can it be 3 point that low when we scored 4 though? How can we have scored 4 goals and had 2 one-on-ones and have the goal?
James is just he's related.
Fair play, James. I'll go with you.
And what are you saying? What have you got on?
I've got on my independent app SofaScore.
SofaScore 5.37.
5.3.
So let's say it's about 4.5. Let's settle it in the middle. But Everton, you know, good amount of XG and 68% possession. Let's have a look at Tieno Barry's stats, because obviously we highlighted him. He got a hat-trick and an assist. But there you go. You know, 3 goals and 1 assist. Chances created 5. He had 8 shots himself. He had 5 on target, 9 touches in the opposition's box, which is probably more than Preston had in our box. The most by anyone on the pitch. Passing accuracy, 83%, and he had 3 ball recoveries. And you can see his heat map there, obviously dropping off onto the left-hand side as well. But much, much better from Barry. I think, had this been last year, people would be getting very, very excited, wouldn't they, about seeing him. You know, as you pointed out, it took him to December to score a goal last season. And we're in, you know, the first week of the season, he's got 4 goals in 2 games. So I think people should be giving him a bit of praise. There's work to do with him, undoubtedly. But, you know, maybe if we get behind him more, and the crowd were unbelievably behind him last night, singing, he had 2 different songs. How about that? Then who knows what he can achieve? What he can achieve? Where are you with this competition then? Because obviously Everton are in the 3rd round and they got Wolves at home, another Championship side. They've started well in the Championship, but they're a Championship side. It's obviously Hill Dickinson, so it's a great opportunity for Everton to get into the 4th round, which is the last 16. So, you know, you look at it like that, you start thinking, and if we get a decent home draw in the 4th round, the quarters.
That's the way to look at it, though, isn't it? I think it's
that's what you've got to do.
Is it the week after the Man United game?
I think so.
So it's like that, 2 home games back to back, which is, you know, from a logistical point of view, is good. You know, less travelling and. No, for me, it's you put your strongest team out again, or you make a couple of subs here and there, but ultimately it's like it can open up, and once Europe, the European football starts as well, then are those other teams who are in Europe, if they got their eyes fully on this? So For me, I think it's a tournament that Everton just have to go
take seriously.
Yeah, you have to, because if you get knocked out and we've been knocked out by a better side there, and fair play. Yeah. But if you've been knocked out through self-sabotage, then that's where fans will call it all into. You know, remember, Marco Silva, acceptable loss and all this, and all that bollocks. No, there has to be an end to that. You win this trophy.
Machete more.
No, I know, but if you win this trophy, you get into Europe, and then the way Europe is at the moment, and the power of the English teams, then that can start the ball rolling, and you could end up in the Champions League,
winning a bloody trophy.
Exactly.
This should be the pop, wouldn't it? This place should pop. Just again before we go, there's two big burning issues right now. With you could even include Jake O'Brien in that, but Illiman and Jay obviously played last night. Was good. Still, just get your final pass right in, because if he did go to City and that was Haaland square and he didn't square it, he'd be getting sold. What's sort of your guts on him? There's 5 days to go.
I mean, just because City are interested doesn't mean City will get him. City are interested in Gakpo as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And City are...
He wants 2 apparently.
But City... It's one of those, isn't it? It's part... If Everton want Grealish, maybe they've just asked the question on Njai. I just don't think any kind of swap deal or anything like that makes any sense for us. So it might be a case that the weekend comes and goes, and that's it. And we get to... Everton don't want to sell. It's not like Everton's sitting here with a begging bowl saying come and get it. We would have been more encouraged to have gone with the Saudi stuff, so we didn't, because that would have been pushed the price right up. So I don't know. The player, to be fair to the player, he's not like, there's never been any kind of thing with him in the club over the summer. He's come back in, seamlessly integrated, got on with it, and done well in both of the games he's played. And I expect that to be the same on Saturday. I don't think he hasn't got the time to go on strike or anything like that.
No.
And if a club like City want him now, they'll want him next summer as well. And maybe that's what he should be aiming for, is thinking, well, you know what? Let's have a brilliant season with Everton, push myself, and then with 2 years to go on his contract, I can't imagine Everton would stand in his way if a big offer came in. So, but right now with Everton holding all the cards, if they don't get what they want, then it just might be. And I just can't see them using them as a way of getting Grealish in, because I just don't think Grealish is like... Grealish in last year, his contract, the City don't want him, and his wages are ridiculous. So this idea of like them playing us so we can get Grealish, I just don't see that, because if we don't get Grealish, we've still got 4 wingers, and they might be the 4 wingers everyone wants, but we still got covered in that area. Unless Everton are like, we have to sell him, otherwise we can't get this and this. I think it would just... I don't think Moyes wants to lose him either. I really don't. I think Moyes will be like, I can cope with Mail and Rowe being right back rather than losing him. So,
and then obviously, Billy aside, how important are these next 5 days for reinforcements for you? What are you looking at? Because the manager's come out and said he wants more, he wants better quality. He doesn't know. He didn't say he won't get what he wants. He said, I don't know if we can do everything I want us to do.
I think.
But what are you looking at? Because what do Everton absolutely have to do, do you think, by Tuesday?
It's not even... If Everton don't get it right back, then...
It's a failure. It's a huge failure.
It's a massive public failure.
Yeah.
We've been told that we were getting it, and I'm not going to call anyone a liar or anything like that, but we've been told we were getting it right back. We've been told...
The manager said it as well.
We've been told all summer there was an ongoing process and we'll get it right back. And if we don't get it right back, then everybody will question the dynamics of what is going on at Everton Football Club. And that's not what we need.
No.
It's not what we need. Again, last season, and that mightn't stretch very far, by the way, but our own fan base within it, and has got the right to, will ask the question vehemently every single day. And that first press conference, for the Man United game, Moyes will come under increasing pressure of, if we didn't get one, by the way, of like, why didn't you get one? Why didn't you get one? And that's gonna start the ball rolling. It's like, what are the relationships like in the club? And it'll only end in one of two possible ways: the manager leaving, Angus Kinnear leaving. Yeah. And that's generally how big I think it is, because it's fundamental. If you don't have a position in your club and you're playing someone there for the second season in a row, when they've known about this problem for, let's say, 4 seasons, that's mad. Just go and get someone who is solid, who can just play in the right back position for this season. Let's just say who's solid, who will do a job, who doesn't have to be all the bells and whistles.
So should that have been Wan-Bissaka?
It should have always been Wan-Bissaka, in my opinion, because I just think, we look where we are now. Remember weeks ago when people were laughing about me wanting to sign Wan-Bissaka?
Loads of people didn't want him, and then when he went to Villa, loads of people were fuming.
Because he was, to me, it was just made complete sense of like, just get a right back.
The manager didn't want him.
No, I know, but the managers had them before, and I just think that
maybe that's right.
Being pragmatic sometimes isn't the worst thing, but it's like Maitland Rolls having to learn how to be a defender, never mind a right back. So every decision he makes is like alien to him. No one wants Jake O'Brien back there, especially Jake O'Brien.
What happens if, imagine if it did come down to that and Angus Kinnear left because of that? But wouldn't that, in some respects, wouldn't that be really worrying?
It'd be counterproductive.
But it'd be worrying, wouldn't it? Because that would say to me that the manager's got all the power and the owners haven't got a grip of this. That you're losing your CEO. I'm saying Angus Kinnear would go and just say if that happened or whatever. Because at some stage, Everton, if they've decided this is what they're going to do, moving forward, you can't have a manager over. If you've decided that's the right model almost, that you're going to get younger players, build a team and go together, you can't have the manager winning over the sort of CEO or threatening the owners. This doesn't work.
Decisions should have been made this season. Someone like Hector.
There's no evidence as this either, by the way. We're just theorising.
Everton should have bought someone like Hector Fort.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, I've never seen kick a football in my life.
He's a decent
Let's just get that right straight away. I'm not trying to be some fucking thing I'm not.
Yeah, he's a decent footballer. Yes. He's only 20.
I can tell you who's the best Avenger, but I can't tell you who's Hector Fort.
Oh, okay.
But Everton should have bought someone like Hector Fort. He's going for €8 million, and it should have been like, go and get someone like him, and then that says to David Moyes, all right, you've got the one you want. Now I want the one I want, which is a 29-year-old right back on a 2-year deal. And I think everyone could have shook hands on that. I really do. I think that would have made perfect sense. Go on, David, know the fella you want, he's 40 million quid, and we have not got 40 million quid, which is another story, because I'd like to know why we haven't got 40 million quid, but that's another story entirely. And then everyone's like happy then. We buy a player that is one for the future, that's got sell on. I know we'd have a buyback clause and all that, but that's why I say someone like Hector Fort, like Hasnu, and we go from there. If we don't end up with a right back because they're looking for a unicorn, and all they can find is a fucking pony with a Jag hat on, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the whole club.
No.
It doesn't, does it though? It's like, why is it so hard to find these players? And it's so hard because clearly the manager and whatever is between Angus Kinnear are not aligned. They're just not aligned. They are two different things. He's not the manager they would have picked. The owners picked the manager. The owners saw it as a safe pair of hands to get us away from where we were under Dyche.
Which happened.
And move us up. And no one's got a problem with that. But then just decide what you're going to be. If we're going to be a club just for right now that is building the foundations, then let him have his fucking way then. Let him buy all the players then and just get on with it and go, you know what, lads, we're planning for when he's gone. We are setting everything up for when he goes, and we're going to bring in McKenna because he's our boy, or whoever, Eddie Howe, whatever. Mikel Arteta, when Arsenal fans get bored of him. Get bored of winning trophies. No, but whatever it is. But we've got this halfway house at the moment where it's just like, it's all a bit... Like, and don't get me wrong, because we bought good players this summer. So it's not even like, I'm not like sitting here going, this has been, when you look at our squad, he might say our squad's worse. I look at it and go...
I think he just said on numbers.
Yeah, I just look at it and go, do you know what? I actually see more players who are capable of coming off the bench. Seamus was never coming off the bench. Craig was never coming off the bench. The 2 goalies were never coming off the bench. Asnu was never coming off the bench. So it left you with 4. I think we've got more than 4 who can come off the bench now. And we
haven't even seen Norgard yet.
Yeah, he'll be a starter.
He'll start also.
And we've still got Timirabuna, by the way. So if he doesn't get sold, he'll be another one. And Moyes sort of does like him.
I think Everton have got the best squad they've had for a few years. That doesn't mean it's as good as it should be, but when you look at it, I think it's better than it's been.
Yeah. It's just
frustrating.
It's just like noise that, and he's getting more and more frustrated. And you wonder whether, if he doesn't get the players he wants, whether that will carry on and become like, if a bad result happens, well, look what I've got.
You don't want that.
I don't want that.
And I'm not saying he will do that, but he has done that in the past and for a while. And you do have to sort of project the unity, don't you? And you have to project. He should be projecting positivity. He's had a great start. We've won 2 games. We haven't let a goal in. We shot 6. He should be projecting, look how well we're doing now, imagine what we could do with a little bit more quality. That should be what he's sort of saying. It's just a bit frustrating because he is a good manager, but this kind of stuff feeds into where people can question him and go, yeah, but look at this and this, I don't like the way he's doing that. And you can't argue with those people because you go, what your point you're making is actually, I can see where you're coming from. You don't want that. No. We should be all on the same page moving forward. That's what you're hoping for. Because it has been a good start. And if we can get a couple of bits of extra quality in and we can get the right back in.
And what you find is, the funny thing is like what you find at the moment is like, when you talk about, like we talked about, done the match preview for the Bournemouth game, is like the harmony that runs in these clubs. And the minute there's any disharmony, like Brighton, they just got rid of De Zerbi. It was like, mate, we don't do that for you. We do this, and it works. And Brentford are the same. It's like, we need a new striker, we're just getting a new striker, we need a new manager, we're getting a new manager. It's like, but, Palace showing a little bit of that with getting a manager who plays the same system as Glasner. You know what I mean? And, the Bournemouth manager getting, probably plays similar style.
Yeah, he does.
So it's just like 1 for 1.
We're not there though.
There's no, everything just seems to work, and that's where we just want to be.
But that's where you've got to, I believe, that you would have to back sort of like Angus Kinnear or Andrew Miller, whoever it is. That's what you're choosing. If it's Nick Cox as the technical director or whoever, that's where you have to back them and go, they're the people who are driving forward. They haven't
got to that point yet where, like, if we don't get a right back, why would anyone trust any of the committee? Why would anyone trust them? If you can't do a simple thing of buying a right back for a football team, why would you trust them?
What if it's more you just stopped a few of them?
No, I know, but then that's the process then, isn't it? Then you say the same thing. The process doesn't work. So why doesn't the process work? Why have you allowed the manager to stop the process? Why haven't you just said to the manager, we're buying this player? The manager doesn't want to play that player. That's a different thing. And if he's not playing him out of spite, then other clubs have sacked the manager. We're stuck in limbo, aren't we, in that regard? But the bigger picture is, if we get a right back over the weekend and say like Njai doesn't leave and we still get Grealish in, we're in a good spot.
Position.
We're in a good spot.
Even if Jack doesn't come back, but Beto moved and they got a new striker and they got the right back, you'd look and go, we're actually.
Do you think the Freakins want Grealish for more commercial reasons than actual football reasons?
I don't know. Because I think a year ago I might have said but then I seen how good he was. So his football ability took Everton up, and he had a goal contribution, 8 goal contributions in 20 games. That's a brilliant return. So I think they want him. I think he's a lad who can take Everton up. I think the interest in Everton goes up when he's involved.
I do.
But I actually think his football ability is excellent as well. So I think it's almost to them would be a win-win. I think the manager wants him. Can they do it financially? I don't know. But that's why the sort of That's why he's so appealing. The other side of that is you can't sort of go. Everton might have decided the only way we get him is literally the last couple of days of the window. Because I think someone said if Everton, by leaving it, Everton have saved 2.7 million in wages alone immediately. So that's probably one where they've gone, we'll try and do that at the very end.
Yeah, of course.
Just to get,
that makes sense. And but the irony of it, all that is like a Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton would play Terry George.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't go for Jack Grealish.
They just play.
They wouldn't go for
play George
and Dibbling.
Yeah.
They would go like, no, we don't need them. And if they wanted another winger, if they'd identify, it'd be someone like Bahoya, who's in Germany, who's 21, who's lightning, and who's available for like 30 million. They'd probably go, we'll get him because see him, he's actually going to be 60 million.
Or they would get him in, but Dibbling would be on a brilliant loan somewhere
to go. So it's dead interest. I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
What the one thing that I do find a little bit mad is that we're sort of self-sabotaging a little bit here. When we've won 2 games, you haven't let a goal in them, we've been good. And just a bit of the negativity's floating around because of the right back, and I get that. But also, I think the manager's frustrations, he's got to dampen them down a little bit because he must be delighted so far the way it's gone on the pitch. So, yes, you can go, I want more, and I'm hoping we can do more, and you can sell that in a positive way. Just smile a little bit because he's looking like he is pissed off, and that's giving people the opportunity to go, all isn't well at Everton. Yeah. It's appearing everywhere, not just with Evertonians talks, whether you throw any credence with them at all, but they're talking about it, which means other fans are hearing it and other journalists are getting on it. Just creates for me a little bit of a narrative that doesn't really need to be there right now. Maybe in a week's time, if Everton haven't done any business, the manager's entitled to come out and go, I wanted this and we didn't get it, and I feel like they've let the thing down or whatever, and people can debate it then. But just think right now, it should be positive. We're playing well, we scored goals, we've won games, and we've got a tough game at the weekend. So that's where I think the positivity should come, and it's just a little bit the other way, but we have to try and flip it back. Right, there you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Great performance last night. Who did you give man of the match to? Here, nobody got it. You can't have 4 goal contributions in a 4-0 win and not get it. But though Harrison Armstrong was excellent last night for Everton. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Subscribe if you haven't, if you want to become a patron, a Premier member. The link's in the description. The QR code's on the screen now. See you later.